All right. I'd like to start off by saying Barakatah Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Ruchah Kodash. Welcome to another live lesson. The name of this one is There Will Be Sex in the Kingdom. Because you have these wacky, tacky Christians that are saying that there will be no sex in the kingdom. And they try to use a scripture and which I'll get it real quick. Elder Apostle Gabar's video that he did. Alton Johnson is a slanderer part idiot, slanderous idiot part 1. And there's a comment on here that some wacky tacky Christian put up. And let's see if I can find it right here. Our days on earth. It says the Bible tells us at the resurrection, people will neither marry nor be given in marriage. They will be like the angels in the heaven, Matthew 22:30, which they don't understand what that scripture means. They're thinking about when you die, and that's it, the resurrection. Well, first and foremost, when people die, there's deaths all the time. That's the sentence upon all, all living. Going back to the curse that was put upon man, after Eve, then Adam, partook, of the tree of knowledge of good and evil. So what happens in death is just a separation of spirit and body. Ecclesiastes 12:7. Then shall the dust return to the earth as it was, and the spirit shall return unto the Most High who gave it. So the Most High who gave the spirit to man and gave the body to house the spirit, at a certain point, this person is born, and at a certain point they die, and then the spirit goes back to the heavens, and that body, which is dust, goes back into the earth and simulates back into the elements of the earth. And that's pretty much all it is. But that spirit never dies. So where does that spirit go? It goes to the Father. And then when they're before the throne of the Father, of Yahweh, they get the judgment based off of what they did on the earth. Hebrews 9:27. And it is appointed unto men once to die, but after this, the judgment. So pretty much once to die, that people think that that's it. You come once, whatever spirit you are, you come on, and once you die, that's it. You never come back on the earth ever again. No, this basically means that if you're in a body, your spirit is in a body, and you die. Let's say your spirit leaves your body, and clinically you're considered to be dead for a minute. They say, oh, he's dead, that's it. But then all of a sudden that spirit comes back into that body, and the person comes back to life. I mean, they died, but they didn't, like the Apostle Paul, because there wasn't time for that spirit to leave out of that body. This is what this means. But it says, but after this, the judgment, because when you go before the throne of the Most High gives you the judgment that you're gonna meet, or you're gonna have to deal with when you come back on the earth. This is why it says, I believe that's Ecclesiastes either 3 or 6. Let's see. Let me just type it this way. I believe it's the 3rd chapter. Yep. This is Ecclesiastes 3:16. It says that moreover, I saw under the sun. What's under the sun? You have the earth, the place of judgment. So where does judgment take place? On the earth. So moreover, I saw under the sun the place of judgment, which is on the earth. That wickedness was there. Why? Because the earth right now is under a demonic vibration, and the place of righteousness, that iniquity was there. So this place on the earth is not clean. This is why the Lord said he has to come and bring a new earth and a new heaven. Because in the former earth and the former heaven shall vanish away. Why? Because this current earth, as we know it today, is under a wicked vibration, under Esau's vibration, because the earth earth was given into the hand of the wicked. But the point of the fact here is that judgment is played out where? On earth. So when it says it is appointed unto men once to die, but after this the judgment, their spirit goes back to the Most High, the flesh goes back to the earth, they receive their judgment in the heavens, then they come down on the earth and receive their judgment on earth. This is why the scriptures say, fear not him that can kill the body and afterwards can do nothing with the soul, but fear him that can kill both body and soul body and pretty much body and spirit in hell, which means in the low condition. You know, like the man, for instance, the man that was born blind, you know, the disciples asked, who did sin that he was born blind? Did his parents sin or did he sin? So if he was born that way, that means that was a judgment from the Lord. But when did this take place? Because they said, did he sin? So how could he have sinned if he were already born that way in the form of life? This is why the Lord said that he visits the iniquity upon the children to the third and fourth generation. Because every time you come back on the earth, you have to play out your role on the earth. Bottom line. All right. But they don't understand this because the Spirit of the Lord is not working with them. So by them making a statement here that the Bible tells us that the resurrection, people will neither marry nor given in marriage, they will be like the angels in heaven. Yeah, because once you die and your spirit is in the heavens, you know, you don't have the way that things are in the spirit world are totally different than what they are here on earth. You know, in the heavens, you don't have no need, no urge or desire to have sex. You don't get hungry. You know why? Because that's not the makeup of the spirit world. And then if you were to try to explain the spirit world, you won't be able to, because even the Apostle Paul tried to explain it, but he said there were no words to describe what he saw. It was so beautiful. It was so in order. It was so he just had such an awe-filled moment that he couldn't even describe it in words what he saw. He just saw the beauty of it, because it's nothing compared to what it is here on earth. And this is why the Most High, Yahweh Basham Shai, is going to establish what is in the heavens on the earth. And Yahweh Shai put that in the prayer. Let thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. So everything can be in its proper order. And that's why our bodies have to be changed. And that's why we have to have the law, statutes, and commandments put into our inward parts, because, you know, that's the only way that we'll be able to rule in a righteous kingdom like that, you know, because of that energy, man. So this is 2 Corinthians 5:1. For we know that if our earthly house of this tabernacle were dissolved, meaning that we died, we have a building of the Most High, and house not made with hands, eternal in the heavens. Meaning what? There's a body. Each one of us has a body in the heavens, that once this flesh dies, our spirit goes back into the heavens, and there's a suit of clothing in the heavens waiting for the spirit that we have in us. For anybody, you know, it says, for in this we groan, meaning in this earthly tabernacle we groan. Why? Because, you know, you have worries, you know, you have bills, you know, you have problems with your wife, you have problems with your children, you know, you get sick, you know, there's certain sicknesses, you know, you have to worry if you're going to get in an accident, you know. I mean, there's many different worries, and we groan in this because this tabernacle, this earthly tabernacle, is constantly fighting against our spirit, wants us to do the wrong thing and not the right thing. So there's a constant battle. So, you know, there's times when you sigh, man, you know, because you want to do better, but sometimes, you know, it's like, it seems like a task, you know, and sometimes we triumph, and sometimes we fail, but you have to get back up. The crime is not, you know, I mean, it is a crime to go off on the scriptures, but it's a worse crime if you don't learn from your mistakes. That's the point. It says, for in this we groan, earnestly desiring to be clothed upon with our house, which is from heaven. Right, because the Apostle Paul knew that if he would transition from the flesh into the spirit world, he would have no pain, he would have no worries, he would be better off, you know. But to be here on the planet was more needful for him, because he had many experiences that he was able to impart onto the rest of those men, those Israelite foreigners that were coming back into the fold that needed guidance. It says, if so be that being clothed we shall not be found naked. For we that are in this tabernacle do groan, being burdened. And that's the truth. We are burdened, being in this tabernacle. It says, not for that we would be unclothed, but clothed upon, that mortality might be swallowed up of life. And this is why we hasten the day. So what? So that the Lord can change these bodies, give us those extraterrestrial bodies, so to speak, so that we can not have to be burdened by this body anymore, not have to worry about those negative thoughts, not have to worry about the flesh trying to constantly make us go off, because then we'll be at one. We'll be in one mind, In other words, we won't have to. Half of us wants to do the right thing, and the other half wants to do the wrong thing. Everything will be set back in the proper balance where it was supposed to be at, and that's why we groan, because we know in our spirit that the way things should be, but we see how it is now, and it's a daily struggle. It says, now he that hath wrought us for the self same thing is the Most High, who also hath given unto us the earnest of the Spirit. And the earnest of the Spirit pretty much is the riches of this knowledge that the Lord has imparted to us, that we can go out there and teach. Because what we've been given is money, which is the wisdom, knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. That is equal to money, gold, silver, precious stones. And we are to take those precious stones and that silver and that gold and trade it out there on the open spiritual stock exchange, because that's really what's going on. There's a spiritual exchange going on. The word is going out. People are, they either get with it or they don't, because all that's going on in the stock market is just punching keys on the keyboard and putting different commodities up there and what they're doing, stock wise, and then people pick and choose what they want, based off of, the market, so pretty much this thing is like that. But the difference is that the Most High is doing the choosing. He's letting the word go into the elect, and then he's not allowing the word to go into anyone else, So Salaki, let me drink a little of this juice. Salaki, brothers. All right, so now concerning this idiotic comment, or what, I just call it a comment of ignorance. The Bible tells us that the resurrection, people will neither marry nor be given in marriage. They will be like the angels in heaven. They give you Matthew 22 and 30. Matter of fact, let's go there first, and then we can get on with the lesson. And it's heavy that they actually quoted this scripture in Matthew 22nd chapter, right? And now check out before I read this, check out what was leading up to it. Matthew 22:29. Yahushua answered and said unto them, you do err, not knowing the scriptures, nor the power of the Most High. And in this scripture right here, this verse is not saying that there will be no sex in the kingdom. This is talking about while you're in the spirit world. For in the resurrection, they neither marry nor are given in marriage, but are as the angels of the Most High in heaven. And eventually, once the kingdom is established, we will be like the angels, because we'll have the bodies that the angels have, like celestial type bodies or extraterrestrial type bodies, which will be bodies that can come upon the earth, but they're on another level, than these regular bodies here. Because with those bodies, you'll be able to go into space. You'll be able to go in the waters, not have to worry about putting on all kind of stuff on so that you can breathe in those atmospheres, But this right here, when your spirit goes into the spirit world, you have a spiritual body in the heavens, and you don't have a desire for sex or for food and none of that stuff, So now let's go from there. Now let's start off in the book of Genesis, the first chapter. And just so I can get to the verse. I know it's around 26, 27 around it, but let me just type this in real quick. Oops. Fruit. All right, here we go. Oh, actually, it was a little further up. Let's start at 20. Genesis 1 and 20. And the power said, let the waters bring forth abundantly the moving creature that hath life, and fowls that may fly above the earth in the open firmament of heaven. So this is when everything was created at the beginning. You know, man, you know, beasts, birds, creeping things, fish, sea life, and the powers created great whales and every living creature that moveth. So there was many people that were created at the beginning. The same thing with the animals and all of that, which the waters brought forth abundantly after their kind, and every winged fowl after his kind, and the power saw that it was good, meaning that it was according to the plans of Yahweh. And the powers blessed them, saying, be fruitful and multiply, and fill the waters in the sea, and let the fowl multiply in the earth, and the evening and the morning were the fifth day. So everything that was upon the earth was given the commandment to multiply, to be fruitful and multiply. And this is why in the act of sex it's so pleasurable for a man and a woman, you know, when they're having sex. Because if the Lord didn't make it pleasurable, no one would get together to have children. You know, so the Lord made it pleasurable so that people would get together to have children for the sole purpose of having children. You know, otherwise, can you imagine if there was no pleasure in that? Nobody would really engage in that. But the Lord made it pleasurable because, you know, this would have the man and the woman's hormones jumping so that they can get together to bring life. And this was the natural order of things going all the way back to the beginning. You know, and there's nowhere in no place that the Lord changed that. Matter of fact, Genesis 1:28, and the powers blessed them, and the power said unto them, be fruitful and multiply, and replenish the earth, and subdue it, and have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the fowl of the air, and over every living thing that moveth upon the earth. Now, when you go from there to the book of Malachi, the 3rd chapter, that was a decree of the Most High. Matter of fact, let me get this other one real quick now that it came to mind. Okay, let's see. Just bear with me. I thought it was 33. I'm pretty sure it is, but let me go back here and let me type in council. All right. So let's see. Just bear with me 1 second. Excuse me. Psalms. Yeah. Yep. So it was actually 11. So just bear with me 1 second so I can put this in real quick. Psalms 33, 11. Okay. So now Malachi 3 and 6, it says, for I am the Lord Yahweh. When you click on that, Strong's 30, H3068, Yahweh. For I am the Lord Yahweh, I change not. Therefore, ye sons of Jacob are not consumed. So the Most High doesn't change. So the Lord gave the decree at the beginning for there to be sex. For what? For the purpose of being fruitful and multiplying. Bottom line, you know? Now, let's go from there. Let's go to the book of Isaiah. No, matter of fact, let's go to Psalms 33, like, you know, we were going to go. Psalms 33 and 11. It said, the counsel of Yahweh standeth forever, the thoughts of his heart to all generations. So the Most High, even unto this very day, has still ordained this to be so. And there will be sex in the kingdom to bring forth abundantly all the children of Israel back that died on this side. The course of life, it comes through what? The course of life comes through the act of sex. You know, when a man and a woman get together, they have sex and they bring forth children. And those children were actual spirits in the spirit world until the sperm hit the woman's womb, and that spirit came down, you know, and entered into that sperm, you know, and then the egg of the woman is what feeds and nourishes that seed until it grows a body, which the Lord prepared for that particular seed. Matter of fact, since I mentioned that, let's go to 1 Corinthians chapter 15. And just bear with me because I'm not sure exactly what verse it is. Let's see. All right, let's start here. 1 Corinthians 15:35. But some men will say, how are the dead raised up? And with what body do they come? See, because when you're dead, the body dies, but the spirit goes back to the Father. So when Yahweh Shai comes back, and those men that have died in the Lord will be risen up, what body are they coming back with? Their Lord is going to cause that spirit to enter and that body from its dust form to be formed back together into an actual body. And then that spirit will go into that body and be brought up into the chariots. It says, thou fool, that which thou sowest is not quickened except it die. And that which thou sowest not that body that shall be, but bear grain, it may chance of wheat or of some other grain. But the Most High giveth it a body as it hath pleased him, and to every seed his own body. So men have sperm, and that sperm, the ones that the Most High wants to make it into the woman's womb, that's the seed. Okay, well, there's a body prepared at such and such a time, at such and such a date. This particular man and this particular woman are going to get together. You know, they're going to have sex and they're going to have this baby. And out of all those sperms, this one is the sperm that's going to make it there. And this is the body that's going to be prepared for that. To fulfill the judgment that I had set for this particular spirit. And that's it. You know, and it's just that simple. Now let's go from there to the book of Isaiah. The book of Isaiah, chapter 11. And these, like I said, like brother's been saying, these wacky tacky Christians have no clue of what the hell is going on. You know, Isaiah 11:1. And there shall come forth a rod out of the stem of Jesse, which is King David, and a branch shall grow out of his roots, which is Yahweh Shai. And the spirit of the Lord Yahweh shall rest upon him, and the spirit of wisdom and understanding, the spirit of counsel and might, the spirit of knowledge and of the fear of the Lord Yahweh, right? And shall make him of quick understanding in the fear of the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. And he shall not judge after the sight of his eyes, neither reprove after the hearing of his ears. This is dealing with Yahweh Shai. But with righteousness shall he judge the poor, and reprove with equity for the meek of the earth. And he shall smite the earth. And so after he came that time, right, and did all these great things, then after he was crucified, and now when he comes back this time, this is what he's coming to do now. And he shall smite the earth with the rod of his mouth. It tells you that in the book of 2nd Ezra, the 13th chapter. It tells you that in Revelation 19, you know, and many other places. It says, and with the breath of his lips shall he slay the wicked, because that's what he's coming to do. He's coming to get Esau, 2/3 of you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians, and the other nations that are here on the soils of America. And righteousness shall be the girdle of his loins, and faithfulness the girdle of his reins. Because why? He's coming back to establish his kingdom upon the earth, which the Most High Yahweh gave to him. It says, now in the kingdom, the wolf also shall dwell with the lamb, and the leper shall lie down with the kid. So the animals are not going to be attacking each other. They're not going to be preying on each other. And the calf in the kingdom, and the calf and the young lion and the fatling together, and a little child shall lead them. So where is this little child going to come from? If there's not going to be any sex in the kingdom, this is talking about the actual kingdom of heaven. Where is this little child going to come from if there's no sex in the kingdom? See, these people, they have no clue of what the hell they're talking about. Matter of fact, let's look up. Let's see where we at. And a little, which is H6996, Quatan, young, small, insignificant, unimportant, small, young. In this case, is a small, young person. All right. It says child, age 5288, Nair, a boy, lad, servant, youth, retainer, boy, lad, youth, servant, retainer. So it's a boy, a young lad. All right. So where is this young lad going to come from if there's not going to be any sex in the kingdom of heaven? It says, and the cow and the bear shall feed, their young ones shall lie down together, and the lion shall eat straw like the ox. The sucking child shall play on the hole of the ass. So where is this sucking child going to come from? This is a child that hasn't been weaned. That's still sucking on his mother's breast. So where is this child going to come from? And what is he going to be sucking on? Because a woman, when she has a child, her body automatically produces milk that come out through her breast for the child, for the child's nourishment. So where is this child going to come from if there's no sex in the kingdom? But is it going to pop out of nowhere? Let's go to sucking child. Sucking child. H3243, yanak, to suckle, nurse, suck. So where are these children going to come from? This young lad, this young boy, this sucking child, where are they going to come from? If there's not going to be any sex in the kingdom. And really at this point, we can close the book. You know, and with all the other videos that brothers have made going into this topic, you know, but like Yahushua said, ye do err, not knowing the scriptures. All right, so now let's go back. Let me see that was verse 8. Let's read on. And the sucking child shall play on the hole of the asp, and the weaned child shall put his hand on the cockatrice den. This is dealing with Israelite children in the kingdom. They're going to be out there, and nothing is going to harm them. The poisonous snakes won't harm them. Fierce lions or fierce beasts will not harm them. They shall not hurt nor destroy in all my holy mountain. For the earth shall be full of the knowledge of Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushai, as the waters cover the sea. You know, and bottom line, they will not hurt any Israelites. And this is actually letting you know that in the kingdom, there will be little children, there will be sucking childs, there will be infants in the kingdom. So now let's go from there to the book of Isaiah, chapter 60, and I will start at verse 19. It says, the sun shall no more be thy light by day, neither for brightness shall the moon give light unto thee. This doesn't mean that there won't be no sun or no moon. That means that the glory of the Lord will be there with us. But you're still going to have a sun and a moon, because the Lord said if those ordinances were to stop, then will the children of Israel be no more. You know? It says, but the Lord shall be unto thee an everlasting light, and thy power, thy glory. And shalom to the Akim on the comment board. The brother Ratazawanya put a scripture up, Isaiah 59:21. As for me, this is my covenant with them, saith the Lord Yahweh Bashem El Shai. My spirit that is upon thee, and my words which I have put in thy mouth, shall not depart out of thy mouth, nor out of the mouth of thy seed, nor out of the mouth of thy seed's seed, saith the Lord Yahweh Bashem El Shai, from henceforth and forever. So if there's not going to be any sex in the kingdom, where are these seeds going to come from? Because what is the seed? The seed is the sperm. And that's and the sperm goes into the woman, and the woman nourishes that seed until it grows into its body. Bottom line. All right, back in Isaiah 16:20, thy sun shall no more go down, neither shall thy moon withdraw thyself, because we're going to be constantly blessed in the kingdom. Perpetual blessings. For the Lord Yahweh, Bashem Yahushai, shall be thine everlasting light, and the days of thy mourning shall be ended, because we're not going to have any more groanings and burdens in this body. We're not going to have to worry about uncertain dwelling places, because our dwelling places are going to be made sure, as it tells you in the book of Isaiah 32, I believe it is. Thy people also shall be all righteous. Why? Because all Israelites will be changed. They shall inherit the land forever, the branch of my planting, the work of my hand, that I may be glorified. Because the Lord is setting up the kingdom of his son Yahushai, and we being joint heirs for the glorification of Yahweh. You know, so everybody can laud our power for such great miracles and such great people that he set up into power. And it's not for us, it's for his glorification, you know, because he made a promise to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. He put his name on it. He put his word on it. He's going to make it good, because he's not a man that he should lie. It says, and a little one shall become 1,000. So just one man shall become 1,000. How is he going to become 1,000 from being one? His seed that's going to be put into all these different women, that's going to bring forth all of these children. It says, and a small one, a strong nation. So how can you become a strong nation if you just one? Because you're going to have sex. All right. And when you have sex, one man can have sex with 100 women, and if they all get pregnant, guess what? 9 months later, you're going to have 100 children. And you keep multiplying that, 1,000 women, 2,000 women, 20,000 women. It's not going to take long to bring the nation of Israel back, as much as Jake loves sex. So it says, a little one shall become 1,000, and a small one a strong nation. I, Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushai, will hasten it in its time. Meaning what? In the kingdom. Because a part of the curse is that we would be brought low. We would be few in number. And this is why you have so many Israelite women, beginning with the so-called black women, the Judite women, and the Latino women and all that. They are having abortions at a phenomenal rate, because the Lord said he would cut our numbers down. But in the kingdom of heaven, all those spirits that are Israelites are coming back. And this is why we have to go out there and go into different planets and all that, because the earth is going to be too small for all the Israelites to fit on it. All right, and since I mentioned that, let's go real quick to Isaiah 54. We got a couple of precepts on that. Isaiah 54:1. Sing, O barren, thou that didst not bear. Break forth into singing and cry aloud. Now you could apply this to Sarah and Hagar, because Sarah was the one that was barren. It says, thou that didst not travail with child. For more are the children of the desolate than the children of the married wife, saith the Lord Yahweh Bashim El Shai. Because the children that came, the child that came out of Sarah, which was Isaac, out of him came who? Jacob. And Jacob became a fruitful field. Jacob became as the sands of the sea. And that is where the promise landed that the Most High made to Abraham. He said, your seed. All right. It says, enlarge the place of thy tent. What is the place of thy tent? Where you live. What does it mean by enlarge? H7337. Rachab. To be or grow wide. Be or grow large. To be widened. Be enlarged. Lengthen thy stakes, as it says here. Enlarge the place of thy tent, and let them stretch forth the curtains of thy habitation. Spare not, lengthen thy cords, and strengthen thy stakes. Why? Because we're going to have to spread out. Because it's going to be so many Israelites, they're not going to be able to be contained in one small area. And this is in the kingdom of heaven. Enlarge thy place of thy tent, and let them stretch forth the curtains of thy habitation. Because the curtains of thy habitation is what? Out there in space. Let's go first. Let's go to St. John, chapter 14:1. Let not your hearts be troubled. You believe in the Most High, believe also in me. In my Father's house are many mansions. What's the Most High's house? Out there in the spirit world. You could say space also, because that's the Lord's throne. In my Father's house are many mansions. What is a mansion? That is a home, a large home. So out there in space, you have many planets, what Esau calls planets. Yahushua call it mansions. If it were not so, I would have told you, I go to prepare a place for you. Why? Because there's going to be a particular place that Yahushua is going to set up for his elect. That they're going to be able to go and visit, and then you're going to have many different planets out there so that Israelites can inhabit. Because you're not going to be able to have all of souls. The scripture, the Lord, the angel, Ezra told the angel, Lord, why can't all the people that were supposed to be born at once, be on the earth? He said that the earth cannot contain all the souls that are created. The Most High is the Father of spirits, so it's impossible for the earth to house all of these spirits. That's where the Lord set up all these different planets, for to be inhabited. And we're going to read about that. And we're reading now, and like brothers be saying, you're going to have brothers that are going to have their mansion is going to be a planet. Yeah, this is my mansion right here. One planet, the whole planet. Just imagine you having the whole planet to yourself, nothing but your women and children on it. Just you. That's man, that's something to look forward to. All right, now let's go from there to Isaiah chapter 40 and verse 22. Just go straight to the point. It says, it is he that sitteth upon the circle of the earth. Oh, wait a minute. The what? The flat earth. What? It is he that sitteth upon the circle of the earth, and the inhabitants thereof are as grasshoppers. that stretcheth out the heavens as a curtain. Wait a minute. Did not we read that in Isaiah 54? It says, enlarge the place of thy tent and let them stretch forth the curtains of thy habitation. So it says what? It says that stretcheth out the heavens as a curtain, the heavens as a curtain, and spreadeth them out as a tent to dwell in. Why? Because out there in the heavens, you know, in space, you know, what Esau calls space, there will be, you know, places where we're gonna go and live at, you know. All right, so now let's go back. Isaiah 54, enlarge the place of thy tent and let them stretch forth the curtains of thy habitation. Spare not, lengthen thy cords and strengthen thy stakes. So why do that if there's not going to be any children, if there's not going to be any sex? The reason why it's saying to do this is because there's going to be so many children, you're not going to be able to be all contained on one planet, in one space, in one area. For thou shalt break forth on the right hand and on the left. And thy seed, what? Thy who? Thy seed shall inherit the Gentiles and nations and make desolate cities to be inhabited. Let me get this other precept real quick. And let's go back. So it says, let's go to the word seed, right? Seed. H2233, Zerai, right? Seed, sowing, offspring. What is an offspring? Children. And this is talking about the kingdom of heaven, you know. Bullshit, man. Fucking Esau, man, always fucking up words, man. Offspring, a person's child or children. That's it. A person's child or children. So the seed or the offspring is gonna what? Oh, wait a minute. What? A sowing seed, semen, virile. That's a man's sperm. Offspring, descendants, posterity, children. So what did this say? It says, for thou shalt break forth on the right hand and on the left. How? And thy seed shall inherit the Gentiles. So the children that come out of your loins, that come out of our loins, that's who's going to be the inheritors. So how is that going to happen if there's not going to be any sex in the kingdom? And make the desolate cities to be inhabited. Because right now over there in our land, even though you have people there, they're really not really inhabited, because the real people that belong there, the Israelites, the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians, are not in that land. All right. Yeah, this is a good scripture. Young Yahweh, Hosea 14:5. I will be as a dew unto Israel. He shall grow as the lily and cast forth his roots, which is another word for sperm seed, as Lebanon. His branches shall spread, which is the branches are dealing with children, and his beauty shall be as an olive tree, and his smell as Lebanon. That's right. It's a good scripture. All right, it says, and make the desolate cities to be inhabited. Fear not, for thou shalt not be ashamed, neither be thou confounded, for thou shalt not be put to shame. For thou shalt forget the shame of thy youth, and shalt not remember the reproach of thy widowhood anymore. For thy maker is thine husband. The Lord of hosts is his name. Always speaks about the Most High's name, Yahweh, and the Son's name, Yahweh Shai. And thy Redeemer, the Holy One of Israel, the power of the whole earth shall he be called. Salakia, brothers. It says, for the Lord hath called thee as a woman forsaken and grieved in spirit, and a wife of youth when thou was refused, save the Lord, save thy power. For a small moment have I forsaken thee. Matter of fact, let's jump down to the, just bear with me, 11th verse. O thou afflicted, tossed with tempest, and not comforted. That's dealing with the nation of Israel. Behold, I will lay thy stones with fair colors and lay thy foundations with sapphires, because we're going to be beautified once again. And I will make thy windows of agates and thy gates of carbuncles and all thy borders of pleasant stones. And all thy what? Children shall be taught of the Lord. So where are the children going to come from if in the kingdom of heaven there's not going to be any sex? And there is the word bun, which is sons. Let's see what it says here. Yeah, bun, which should be technically bun yum, which is sons, you know. And thy children shall be taught of the Lord. and great shall be the peace of thy children. So where are these children going to come from if there's not going to be any sex in the kingdom of heaven? It says, in righteousness shalt thou be established. Thou shalt be far from oppression, for thou shalt not fear, and from terror, for it shall not come near thee. All right, now let's go from there to Hosea chapter 1 and verse 10. Let's go straight to the point. It says, yet the number of the children of Israel shall be as the sand of the sea. How is that going to happen? By sex, which cannot be measured nor numbered. And it shall come to pass that in the place where it was said unto them, ye are not my people, there shall be said unto them, you are the sons of the living power. Then the children of Judah and the children of Israel be gathered together and appoint themselves one head, and they shall come up out of the land, for great shall be the day of Jezreel. And the word Jezreel, Hebrew word Yazarei Allah, which means he, seed of the power. And how is that going to happen? When the Lord causes Israel to multiply once again. So the ones that don't make it on this side will be in the kingdom. That's why the scripture said that all Israel shall be saved. If we know that 2/3 are going to be cut off here and die, how are they going to come back? Through the act of sex, through the ones that make it. All right, let's see what else we got here. See what else we got on the list. Okay, we got all of that. We got that. We got that. And we got that. So now let's go from there to the book of Matthew. You know, for that's all the Old Testament, man. You guys just go to the Old Testament, man. Which the Old Testament is a part of this. Get sick of these fucking catfish, fried catfish eating clowns, man. Matthew chapter 19 and verse 27. It says, then answered Peter and said unto him, behold, we have forsaken all and followed thee. What shall we have therefore? So Peter was saying, look, we gave up everything. We followed you. What is our reward going to be? And Yahweh said unto them, verily I say unto you, that ye which have followed me in the regeneration, meaning in the reincarnation, when you come back, you know, it says, when the Son of Man shall sit on the throne of his glory, when Yahweh comes back to establish his throne, you also, which this is reincarnation right here, you also shall sit upon 12 thrones, judging the 12 tribes of Israel. So this is dealing with the 12 apostles. And every one that hath forsaken houses, or brethren, or sisters, or father, or mother, or wife, or children, or lands, for my name's sake, shall receive 100-fold and shall inherit everlasting life. So how are you going to receive 100-fold? Because you gave up your children, and eventually did not the apostles pass? So that means their children's passed too, and they gave up their children, you know, in that lifetime. So how are they going to receive 100-fold? In the kingdom, by the act of sex. All right, and shall inherit everlasting life. All right, so now let's go from there. A couple more scriptures. Let's go to Isaiah chapter 65. There's a lot of goodies in Isaiah. Isaiah 65 and 17. It says, for behold, I create new heavens and a new earth. Why? Because this kingdom right now is corroded, it's corrupted, you know, it's polluted. So the Most High is going to, Yahweh Bashem Yahushua is going to renew everything. This is why the first part of it is what? Those nuclear missiles and the concentrated fire from the chariots. That's going to actually burn everything up and purify everything. It says, and the former shall not be remembered nor come into mind. Why? Because it's going to be a passé, a thing of the past. But be ye glad and rejoice forever in that which I create. Because the Lord is going to set up the world again in total righteousness. For behold, I create Jerusalem a rejoicing and her people a joy. Not like now. Everybody's looking at us as niggas, spick, spooks, wetbacks, tontos. We're the joke of we're the butt of everybody's joke. But in that day, the Lord is going to create us a rejoicing. He's going to set us back up into power. He's going to put us on such a high level that these nations, they'll know who an Israelite is just by the glow, you know, and the demeanor and the way that individual looks. Like even now, when you look at the world, Jake stands out, and we're in a low condition. So imagine in the kingdom of heaven when we're glorified. And I will rejoice in Jerusalem and joy in my people. And the voice of weeping shall no more be heard in her, nor the voice of crying. Why? Because we're not going to be burdened anymore. You know, we're going to have everything to our disposal, to our beck and call. The scriptures tell you, I believe it's in here also, that before we even ask for a blessing, the Lord is going to give us the blessing. There shall be no more. Wait a minute. There shall be no more thence an infant of days. Wait a minute. This is in the kingdom of heaven. An infant. What's that? So how is this infant? How is this going to be? How is this going to be possible if there's not going to be any sex in the kingdom? Strong's H5764. I wall, sucking child. So how is there going to be infants in the kingdom of heaven if there's not going to be any sex? Because infants and children are the product of what? Sex. Be ye fruitful and multiply. You know, like when we were first born, our parents, you know, most of our parents were like in their 20s, you know, maybe a little younger, maybe a little older, you know, and then you grow up, you know, you don't really know any better. You know, you're growing up at, as a toddler, going up into your teenage years, and eventually, whenever the spirit has it, you start having children, and you start getting older, and you start looking at your children like your parents were looking at you, and they're looking at you like they were looking like you were looking at your parents, so on and so forth. Then you get old, then they get older, they have children, so on and so forth. That's the cycle of life. So it says there shall be no more thence an infant of days, meaning a child that has not fulfilled their days. There ain't going to be no stillborns in the kingdom. There ain't going to be no abortions in the kingdom. There's not going to be, a little Johnny, died of a stray bullet, or got hit by a car, or he died of complications from cancer. No, there ain't going to be none of that in the kingdom of heaven. The infants are going to fulfill their days, meaning they're going to live, because the scriptures say that we're going to live forever. Nor an old man that hath not filled his days. So it ain't talking about there's going to be old, decrepit Israelites in the kingdom. No, this is talking about that there's going to be, you're going to get old, not physically, but you're going to be old in years and still be full of days. For the child shall die 100 years old, which is not going to, the child is not going to die. There's not going to be no death among Israel. But this is just letting you know that this child is going to grow to where he's supposed to be. But the sinner being 100 years old shall be accursed, and there ain't going to be no sinners in the kingdom of heaven, not among the nation of Israel. But the point is that they're going to be blessed. They're going to be infants in the kingdom, and that infants come by way of, and sucking child come by way of what? Sex. And they shall build houses and inhabit them, and they shall plant vineyards and eat the fruit of them. They shall not build and another inhabit. They shall not plant and another eat. For as the days of the tree are the days of my people, and mine elect shall long enjoy the work of their hands. It says, they shall not labor in vain. This is dealing with the elect, nor bring forth for trouble. For they are the seed of the blessed of the Lord, and their what? Their offspring with them. So how in the hell is there going to be offsprings if there's not going to be any sex in the kingdom? And when you look up the word offspring, is the word tazayum, offspring, produce, issue, offspring of men, produce of the earth, descendants, metaphorical. So this is dealing with the offspring, produce, issue, offspring of men. That's what this is dealing with, the offspring of men. Let me see where we at here. So this is the offspring of men. All right. So how is that going to happen if there's not going to be any sex in the kingdom? Because offspring is a product of what? Sex, descendants, seed. It says, and it shall come to pass that before they call, I will answer. And while they are yet speaking, I will hear. So, man, we're going to be blessed. Even before we even ask for it, we're going to get it. The wolf and the lamb shall feed together, and the lion shall eat straw like the bullock. This is dealing in the kingdom. And thus shall be the serpent's meat, which is Esau. They shall not hurt nor destroy in all my holy mountain, saith the Lord Yahweh Bashem El Shai. And the last precept I have is in Isaiah 66, and we're going to go straight to the point, which is verse 19. Start off there. I'll start at 18. For I know their works and their thoughts. It shall come that I will gather all nations and tongues, and they shall come and see my glory. Because you're going to have Israelites that are throughout the four corners of the earth, among all these different nations. And the ones that are Israelites will be brought out and brought back to the fold. And the ones that are not Israelites that are drawn are going to be slaves. It says, and I will set a sign among them, And I will send those that escape of them unto the nations, to Tarshish, Pul, and Lud, that draw the bow, to Tubal and Javan, to the isles afar off, that have not heard my fame, neither have seen my glory. And they shall declare my glory among the Gentiles. Why? Because the Israelites will be pulled out from among those different nations. And they shall bring all your brethren for an offering unto the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahushai out of all nations upon horses, and in chariots, and in litters, and upon mules, and upon swift beasts, to my holy mountain Jerusalem, saith the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, as the children of Israel bring an offering and a clean vessel into the house of the Lord. And I will also take of them for priests and for Levites, saith the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, for as the new heavens and the new earth which I will make shall remain before me, saith the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, so shall your what? Your seed and your name remain. Now, how is that going to happen? By the act of sex, children, having children. And it shall come to pass that from one new moon to another, and from one Sabbath to another, shall all flesh come to worship before me, saith the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. Then we can truly have a good time, you know, and be able to party and not have to worry. You know, and they shall go forth and look upon the carcasses of the men that have transgressed against me. There you go. For their worms shall not die, neither shall their fire be quenched, and they shall be an abhorring unto all flesh. Because that's going to be a constant reminder, you know, of because America is going to be set as a constant reminder of what it is to be wicked and to do wicked things. You know, it's going to be set up as a memorial. No one's ever going to inhabit this place ever again. It's just going to be set here as a memorial. The only thing that's going to be inhabited this place is unclean animals and birds and all of that stuff of that sort. You know, so there will be there will be sex in the kingdom of heaven. So these clowns out here don't understand the scriptures. You know, some of them are willingly ignorant, and some of them are just gone. They're just bugged out because they weren't given the understanding of the scriptures, and they're gonna keep coming. The scoffers are gonna keep scoffing. You know, they're gonna keep doing what they do. But you know, through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, we're gonna keep doing what we do. You know, and keep on pushing His word. You know, so brothers, you know, stay strong. You know, keep on fighting. 2019, the year of Karagma. You know, you see a lot of stuff going on, man. So just get your minds together, get your minds prepared, and just get ready. You know, we all stay prayed up. You know, and keep on fighting, man. So pretty much, you know, with that, I pray that you brothers have been edified. To the next time I say Shalom.